Bradley Beal got traded. Bradley Beal got traded. Now, Bradley Beal, for the longest time, he had this perception of like a Damian Lillard. Yo, he's never leaving Washington. No ifs, ands, or buts. But similar to Dame, it seems like motherfuckers are reaching their breaking point. All right? I don't blame, hypothetically, if Brad stayed a Washington Wizard for the rest of his career, I don't blame him for staying in Washington when he's in an environment where he's comfortable in. He feels respected by the franchise, respected by the fan base. And he's getting the bag. Same thing with Dame. But, at some point, you want to play winning basketball as a competitor. You don't get those contracts, and you don't be as good as you are without some sort of competitive fire in you. And motherfuckers just reached breaking point, which is fine. To detail the full trade, the Suns received Bradley Beal straight up, right? And the deal was made with the Washington Wizards, and the Wizards in return received Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, multiple second-round picks, and multiple pick swaps. I'm going to be honest, it is very, very clear that Washington is trying to clear the ship. Kristaps Porzingis is also on the market. I think they've chosen a lane, which I actually like for Washington. I think in a vacuum, this trade is bad, and they didn't really get much in return. But in actuality, I think it's a step in the right direction in terms of, let's not be this franchise that's just in the middle of the pack every single year. When we're in the lottery, it's a late lottery pick. Let's actually pick a direction here. I think it was very, very clear last year, and honestly for the last couple of years, that the Bradley Beal era is done in terms of trying to build a championship contender around Bradley Beal, whether that be, them just not being able to trade for the right players, develop the right players, sign the right players. Shout out to Kobe Detler for the 5. Beal doesn't matter, Nuggets in 4. We'll get to that in a minute. I want to give credit to the Washington Wizards for actually having some balls and just picking a direction. Now let's go to the Phoenix Suns. Because I think that's where all the attention in actuality is. It's the fact that the Phoenix Suns, after a season where they somehow managed to get Kevin Durant, pulled off another blockbuster deal to get another star on their team to pair with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, that being Bradley Beal. So correct me if I'm wrong, and we'll do the research live on stream, but the Phoenix Suns, in terms of guaranteed contracts, they now have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and DeAndre Ayton on the team. They also first they fired Monty Williams, but then they hired Frank Vogel to be the head coach of this team to replace him. Let me look at their contract situation. Current Suns contracts. Okay. All right. So next year, I'm not the biggest contract guy. But yeah, next year, Chris Paul is done. Landry Shamet is done. I guess Campaign is staying. Does he have a player option? I don't think he has a player option. So Campaign is staying. But yeah, essentially it's their big four. And Cameron Payne. And Ish Wainwright, I guess. Let me not postpone it. Let me just give y'all my thoughts on this trade. I'm personally not a fan of it. Now, for the people who have been in the chat for the longest, y'all kind of already know where I'm going with this take. I'm not a big fan of NBA teams in the last couple of years pretty much sacrificing depth for star power. Which is crazy because I was on the same boat when the Brooklyn Nets acquired James Harden to pair with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. I was on that tip. I was on that same token when the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook to pair Anthony Davis and LeBron James and create this big three. I am just not for this whole forcing of exactly a big three just because, historically speaking, 3 stars equals a championship. That's just not how basketball works nowadays. And even if you look at the teams that have made it deep into the playoff run, what you will see is a lot of depth, a lot of good coaching, a lot of continuity. And what the Phoenix Suns are doing is truly, aside from Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, there's not much continuity with the squad. I do not like that. I do not like that. And especially coming off of a playoff run where most people would point to their lack of depth as the main reason why they lost. And I know Chris Paul is in a different era in his career. A lot of people can even make the argument that, like, yo, they were better without Chris Paul. I know Landry Shamet is a disposable player. But I still don't like... I had the same critique with Philly. I still don't like this just stacking of stars just because it sounds good on paper. Now, the reason why is because I feel like it's natural. Teams rely too much on those 3 stars. We are not in 2011 anymore where you can stack 3 stars and because of the amount of talent in the league, that just no-diffs a lot of teams in the leagues because of the fact that you have a big 3. We're not in that era anymore. We're just not. So when you pair up Devin Booker and build around your team around Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal and sacrifice all of this depth, we're looking at a team... let's just look at Kevin Durant's injury history. Last season, played 47 games, was injured. In 2022, played 55. He missed what? How many games is that? 27? I'm pretty sure he was injured this season too. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. In 2021, he came back from that Achilles injury. 2020, Achilles injury. Kevin Durant has not been the healthiest dude on the planet. He just hasn't. He just hasn't. Same thing with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, once again, has not been the healthiest dude on the planet. This season, played 50 games. Last season, played 40. The season before that, played 60. The season before that, played 57. Which is unfortunate because in this stretch, he was actually, pretty fucking healthy. And that's pretty much it. I'm just not a fan of sacrificing all this depth for injury-prone players, even though they are talented. I expect them to be a playoff team. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Also with Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel is a great defensive coach. And looking at this core of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and now Bradley Beal, defense looks suspect, chat. I ain't gonna lie. That defense looks sus as fuck. I understand Kevin Durant is not a chair on defense, but I've always said, like, yo, if Kevin Durant is one of your 2 best defensive players, unless you're the Warriors, I think that's an anomaly situation. But even then, Kevin Durant is not the same defender as he was back in Golden State. If Kevin Durant is one of your 2 best defensive players, it's not looking good, chat. Is not looking good. It's not looking good. Also, I was watching Players' Choice earlier, and they Lowe specifically was bringing up the point of, like, what's to say, I know depth is a question with this team, but what's to say, like, they can't pull a Miami Heat this season and say, get these undrafted guys that step up in the playoffs. The Denver Nuggets were able to pull off Christian Braun through the draft, who played good rotational minutes for them in the playoffs. I think that's just a disservice to the developmental department of those teams and how they're able to develop these players. I don't think Phoenix is that destination. That at least they haven't proven the track record for it. And I feel like Miami is such an anomaly of an example to use in that department. To just bank on getting those undrafted dudes and those minimum vets to step up in that fashion. Again, I don't see it. I don't see it. Chat, talk to me. Let me know what y'all think about this trade. I'm not a fan. I'm gonna be honest, chat. It's giving me the same energy of when the Phoenix Suns got KD last season. Like, on paper, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton with Monty. That's gonna be a squad. But for how much they're paying, how much they're giving up, and the star power at the top level, and how much people are going to hype up this team, it's like, I don't see this team being a world-beating team. You know what I'm saying? I see them being a good playoff team. I see them maxing out at a conference finals. But realistically speaking, I see them as a second-round exit. I see them as a second-round exit. Which is fine. I'm just being realistic with who, Kevin Durant is at this point in his career. I'm just being realistic with the state of basketball and how much depth matters. That's what I'm saying, Rome. Like, it's a cute little team. It's cute. It'll have some dominant stretches. It might even look dominant in the playoffs for stretches. But it's a cute little team. I don't know, man. Let me bring up chat. Man. Let me bring up chat. Is that a hot take? Is that a bad take? I don't know. Let me see what chat's saying, man. 3 shot creators on the same team. What can go wrong? I mean, it's worked before, but more often than not, I am more concerned when teams are built like that. They're a cute team. Let's see. W take. Appreciate it. There, Buns. Buns is crazy. I don't know about Buns. Man. Where do you think they're gonna send DeAndre Ayton? They gotta get some defense back, bro. I ain't gonna lie. They gotta get some defense back. I don't know if the contracts are gonna work, but I don't know why it's calling me. Jarrett Allen for DeAndre Ayton. Put Evan Mobley at the 5, DA at the 4. Maybe that works. I don't know. Or just keep Mobley at the 4. Never mind. That's a wordoo moment right there, chat. That's for the motherfuckers who know, that's a wordoo moment right there. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see. I don't know if they can send Ayton anywhere. Ayton's stock right now is hella low, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Cleveland says no. Yeah, Cleveland probably says no. So, it is what it is. It's your boy for $20. Soul Society, stand up. Katie's legacy is sus as fuck. And I give this trio 3 years at tops before they trade one of them, probably KD. Ayton won't get them all the depth they need. They need a minimum of 6 guys, and Suns fans are about to cringe. Yeah. Yeah, not a cardiac does. Zion at the 5, Jonas at the 4 for a small ball lineup. That shit is crazy. No, that shit is crazy. Oh shit.
Let's get it. Hop off a 16 passenger. This is G5. No, this not a challenger. Big one.
Soul Society, stand up. Katie's legacy is Susas, and I give this trio 3 years at tops before they trade one of them. Prob Katie. Ayton won't get them all the depth they need. They need at minimum 6 guys, and Suns fans bout to get cringe.